Howdy Ho YouTube, Jon-Luke Vgc here. Today I'm going to teach y'all a little bit something about how to figure out EVs from stream matches, which is something that I think is actually pretty important if you want to get far into competitive Pokemon. And I think this is something that people will be particularly interested in because of kind of the events that happen. So if you're not aware, I'm recording this on Sunday evening. So this is immediately after the Milwaukee Regional Championships have just ended. I was actually slotted to go to the Milwaukee, but unfortunately I did have some pretty bad life stuff come up, not for me, but for other people in my life, which had me need to be there for them. And as you know, I love Pokemon and I love doing Pokemon, but sometimes it is more important to be there for the people in our lives. So I opted to actually skip Milwaukee so I can be with the people that need to be with, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's long story short, is I was supposed to go to Milwaukee. I have a little bit of FOMO, but it is what it is. But anyways, yes, so the Milwaukee Regional Championships just happened, and if you'll notice the finals here, the teams, they have the same Pokemon. Yes, so Joshua Lorcy, what is it? Lorcy Loves You on Twitter, I think, and Alex Saran both went into the finals. This would be their first regional win. And looks like, but Alex came out on top, although I think Lorcy played really, really well, albeit maybe a little bit predictably sometimes, particularly in the first two matches, but he got second place in Milwaukee and I didn't, so what do I know? But anyways, yeah, so they did this, and this team is really popping up more. I have it over here, basically a version of it with EVs that I found. I'm gonna have to move myself a couple of times, so sorry about that. But yeah, it's Safety Goggles Ensign, Terra Electric, Leftovers, Yawn, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Grassy Seed Acrobatic Sneasler, Life Orb Golden Go, Focus Sash Ninetales, and Assault Vest Rillaboom. So this team is actually popping up a lot more recently, and that is only going to get catapulted by the fact that it just placed first and second in the most recent regional. If this team looks familiar, it's because it's very similar to the team. Am I blocking it? Yes, a little bit. Here we go. It's the exact same six that Emmanuel Brigante used to win the Frankfurt Regional Championships earlier in the season. So this core is getting really, really popular. And I don't know if there have been any official pastes from anyone like this that have actually put out the team. So I was like, well, people are going to want to use this, but you might not know how to figure out your own EVs for it. So this video is going to kind of look at the finals of the Milwaukee Regional Championships, going to accomplish a few different goals. We're going to finish up look at the finals of the Milwaukee Regional Championships, and then I'm going to teach you how I'm going to use that battle to figure out the EVs, or at least get good guesses for the EVs on the team, so I can recreate it myself and test it. So that's really the point of today's video. So I'm sure there will be some clickbaity thumbnail title use this simple trick to yada yada yada, because views are kind of down right now, and that's okay. You know, Scarlet and Violet's getting a little old. I'm still having a ton of fun with it. I still love the game. Some people maybe aren't as interested in watching it as they used to be, and you don't have to. So views are down, so I'm still gotta do everything I can to get the views of these videos. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we're just gonna do this today, and so this is a good opportunity to do that. So let's take a quick kind of broader look at the team here. So I have it up on this screen. Goodbye, Holodex. I don't need you right now. Sheesh. I can probably make this a little bigger. Sorry, I had to undo my showdown because I was having some troubles with Twitch stuff, and it erased all my stuff, all my settings on showdown, and so now my showdown looks like this, and I'm not technologically literate enough to fix it, I'm not gonna lie. So it is what it is. Let's zoom in a little bit. There, that's better. I like that more. So let's take a quick look at the team. So it is Ensign, Terra Ghost, Safety Goggles, Intimidate with Flare Blitz, Knockoff, Fake Out, and Parting Shot. Ursaluna Blood Moon, Terra Electric, Leftovers, Mind's Eye with Blood Moon, Earth Power, Yawn, and Protect. Terra Flying, Grassy Seed, Sneasler, Unburdened with Close Combat, Acrobatics, Sword Stance, and Protect. No Dire Claw! Thank you. Thank you for that. Terra Water, Life Orb, Golden Go, Good as Gold with Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, and Protect. Alola Ninetales, Terra Ghost, Focus Sash, Snow Warning with Blizzard, Icy Wind, Encore, and Protect. And Rillaboom, Terrafire, Assault Vest, Grassy Surge with Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, High Horsepower, and Fake Out. So I found this version of the team from this individual, DDSSDD on Twitter. They won a Regulation H tournament with it. They posted the rental. They didn't post the paste, but if you post the rental, I can get the paste. So sorry about that. I took it. And so, but the main reason that I picked this particular one is that it was actually retweeted by Lorcy himself. So I said, okay, well, if Lorcy retweeted this and said mini-me, then maybe Lorcy had a say in the team or helped make it or whatever, or they know this person, so they gave the advice. So I'm going to assume, this is like a broad assumption, that this is close to, if not exactly the same EVs as Lorcy's team. So we're gonna, so just, I don't know, I've never talked to Lorcy. Seems like a very nice guy. Seems like a really cool dude. I like his personality from what I've seen, but I've never talked to him. And so I'm just going to make the assumption that this is at least very close to his team. And so I'm going, okay, you could just use this team. I could just use this version of it, call it good, all that jazz. But I'm like, kind of like, you know what? I mean, I want to use the first place team. You know, I want to use the winning team. So how do I figure out the EVs for that? And that's the main point of today's video. We're going to use the final stream match to get a better understanding of the EVs on Alex's version of the team. And then I will give that paste to y'all. You can use it. You can do whatever you want with it. Hopefully that it's helpful to... maybe you can use it in tournaments, test out the team, see why it's so strong. The team is very, very strong. If you're not aware, we'll take a quick overview. So why is this team strong? Well, first of all, you have, of course, I'm going to move myself a lot because I've got to switch tabs. Sorry. This is kind of off kilter, kind of a more off kilter video. Sorry. I had other plans, but I figured I kind of wanted to get this one out. This feels very much like a bonus wolf beginning, you know, kind of scatterbrained with stories and stuff. So, real YouTubists, big, you know what I mean. Will I get copyrighted for that? I don't know. Does Wolf have a copyright on that? I'm actually part of his Patreon, and I do actually find those videos very funny. They're very charming. I like them a lot. But anyway, so why is this team so strong? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, it's this, we'll talk about like kind of the elephant in the room, or I guess the bear, which is Blood Moon, Ursa Luna, Terra Electric. The reason that Terra Electric is so good is because it's only weak to one type, which is ground, but it has a couple of primo resistances, including steel, because Golden Go is really, really popular in the meta right now. And you can earth power into it, and Blood Moon if it decides to Terra outside of its steel typing. So it actually has really fantastic coverage into Golden Go with that Terra. And then Yon is really great as disruption. We all know that I love Dondozo. We all know I will play Dondozo with or without Tatsugiri. But you'll notice that one of the reasons that I love solo Dozo is because of Yon forcing switches, forcing decisions, making 50-50s, being disruptive. It's the exact same thing. The Yon like forces an opponent to switch, loses momentum. It's really, really great. And on a super bulky Pokemon like Blood Moon Ursa Luna, it works really, really well. And so this, and plus you have Rillaboom on the team for additional recovery. So you add that on with the leftovers and you're getting non-insignificant recovery every single time, which is really cool. You also have just like two really solid Pokemon in Incineroar and Rillaboom, like super safe, really strong Mons. I like them a lot. You know what they do. I don't really need to talk about them. Their EVs are cool. You have 90-76 in Rillaboom just to outspeed Timid Ursa Luna always, and then 36 Adamant for the bump. Incineroar is 36 Adamant for the bump as well, and then 116 speed, which is actually pretty fast. Hits 95 speed, probably because after two, that probably hits something after an Icy Wind from Alola Ninetales, but I'm going to be honest, I don't quite know what that would be. So, there we go. I'm back, sorry. You have, and so these two, double pivot, really good. So why do you need the double pivot? Well, first of all, you have two options to set up. You have the special side with Nasty Plot Golden Go. We know what Nasty Plot Golden Go does. In fact, I used this exact same sets on the Tinkaton Goldango team that I made some time ago that I won that local with. I have the video and I'll include in the description down below. But yeah, so it's the exact same set. It's just 52 HP to hit an HP number that ends in 9, which is optimal for Life Orb chip. And then just max speed Timid, 4-4, and then the rest in special attack because you're going to go Nasty Plot anyways. I still think that, in my opinion, is the best Life Orb Goldango spread. You just want to be outspeeding. Like, this is the CSR of Regulation H. You need to go max speed. And then your other setup option is Grassy Seed Sneasler, Terra Flying with Acrobatics instead of Dire Claw. Why run Acrobatics instead of Dire Claw, you might ask? Well, it's less toxic, I guess, but it actually is more powerful because you use up the boost, so you use up your item, so you get double the power, and it hits types that otherwise Sneasler struggles to, particularly like opposing Golden Go. So yes, Acrobatics is not very effective into Golden Go, but it is not, Golden Go is not immune to it like it is Dire Claw, which is actually something pretty massive. So yes, you have a not very effective move into steel types, but they're not immune to it, which is kind of massive. Plus, you're still hitting important types that you need to hit, like grass types for super effective damage. With flying, you're hitting opposing fighting types for super effective damage, which is good. What else? Bug types for super effective damage, you know what I mean? Which can kind of wall Sneasler a little bit. So you still have a really good type coverage there. And then Terra Flying defensively for Sneasler is fantastic because your main weakness is ground. So you become immune to those ground weaknesses, which is huge. And then, yeah. So I think it makes sense why you moved to Acrobatics. And it's just less toxic, so I'm always for it. I like it. Let's, step down. But you have the Swords Dance there, so you need the double Fake Out Pivot in order to safely set that up. The last Pokemon is Alola Ninetales, just a great kind of all-arounder. You have Icy Wind for speed control, Blizzard for weather control because of its ability, plus then that bypasses accuracy checks, and you get a chance to freeze. And then a fast Pokemon with Encore is always really strong. So the core is just super, super good. This is kind of the way that balance is looking in Regulation H. This is not actually the... I mean, some of the Pokemon are the same. Two of the Pokemon are the same on my main Regulation H team. You can probably guess which two they are, but this is not the version of Balance that I play. I actually play something entirely different, which is really funny. But it is really, really cool. So, okay, so we've got Lorcie's version of the team. Okay, this is I found by SSDD, whom I don't know in any way. I've seen some stuff about them on Twitter. I don't really know. I'm not going to delve into that. It's not my place, but I don't know them. I've never met them. I just saw the tweets. Saw that Lorcy retweeted it. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so don't come at me for kind of that. There's been a lot of Pokemon Twitter stuff lately. And yeah, it's kind of been a lot that I haven't really been kept up on because I'm an adult man and I have people in my life that I need to take care of right now. So, so sorry about that. But I didn't want to be associated with anything in that particular way. So we have Lorcie's version of the team. But you go, okay, yes, Lorcy got second, which is an amazing accomplishment. We should be very, very proud of him. Josh, you will eventually get that first place. I'm very, very proud of you. But we want the first place team, right? We want the winning team. So how do we get that? So it's all about garnering information. So first of all, they can release the paste. Cool. Then you got it right there. But let's say they don't. We don't want to release that paste. There are a couple of things you can do. And I think the biggest thing you want to do is watch stream matches because there's a lot of information you can glean from stream matches that is really fantastic for you. So the first thing is you can get exact HP stats depending on whose side you can see because you have them right here. So Lorcy, we can see out the gate his Golden Go and his Instance HP stats. So we know exactly how much they have in both. So out the gate, I can actually already tell you that my Golden Go spread is wrong because it has 169 HP and this Golden Go right here only has up 177. So we can already tell that the spread that I guessed for Golden Go is incorrect just from the HP stat alone, which is really, really good information. So I don't actually know if Alex was ever on this side of the stream. I can't remember. But just for the sake of this video, if he was, cool, I was wrong. But for the sake of the video, let's say he's not, right? We never got to see his HP stats. So we need to figure out another way to determine the information on his team. That's where these stream matches come in. I have what I presume to be Lorcie's sets. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the battles from the finals. And then basically, or at least some of them, they're very long battles, but at least some of it. And then using the spreads from Lorcy, figure out at least a better understanding of Alex's spreads. So let's go ahead, get into it. Pew, 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 pew. So Lorcy and Alex. He's like, what? Am I blocking that? No, that's just look at the way Alex looks right here. That's just very funny. He's like, don't get that camera off me. Come on. And Lorcy's just so unbothered. That's kind of funny. Yep. As you can tell, except the only difference is here actually is that Lorcy does have Terra Ground, Terra Blast, and Aurora Veil on his Alola Ninetales instead of Icy Wind and Encore. So that is a bit different. And that is some pretty cool tech. I'm actually kind of down to clown with that tech. And he has Citrus Berry on Ensign, which is a little bit different. But this is the exact same 6. The exact same set here, right? All the Terras, everything like that. Yep, yep. So let's take a look. Okay, so we can take a guess at... So out the gate, we can already tell that Alex's Ensign is faster. So immediately we can see that his Ensign is faster, right? So it's like, okay, or it's a speed tie. So actually, we're not going to say anything right now because it could theoretically be a speed tie. If 95 speed is an important speed tier to hit, it could be the same. But that's where they say it. His Incineroar, so they've seen in a previous match that Alex's Ensign is faster than Lurcy. So we see, assuming that this is the team, right? Ensign here has a speed stat of 116. This is where it's going to get really annoying to actually do this. So we're going to go back to... Well, actually, no, I'm going to keep it here, right? So, okay. Michael Rand, right? We want his Ensign. So if Lurcy's hits 95, right? What is the next relevant speed for Ensign to hit? That would be my question, right? It's like, okay, so 95, what would be the next relevant? So what in this speed tier would you need to outspeed after hitting 95? Immediately I go to Modest Blood Moon Ursaluna, which hits 104, I think. 104. Yep. So we would want 105 speed. So if I'm guessing here, right, then we want 105 speed on Incineroar, which would be 196. If we did that, you went for the Adamant again, and it would be something like this. Like 420, 36 Adamants, 154. People are generally running kind of a more offensive Adamant Instant right now, so this would be kind of a valid guess, I think. Also, I guess, hang on. Well, let's go back to the video. Yeah, Lurcy was on this side as well, so we never saw Alex. Okay, so yeah, so we can guess this. So even if, let's just say that the speed is the only difference, right? We can at least start here. I should also mention that there's a couple of spreads that we can just assume. The big thing is right here. Alola Ninetales having the Focus Sash, we're going to pretty much assume that it's going to be the same spread, which is just max, Timid. Because you want Timid because you want to be as fast as possible. But let's say that this is the instant spread, right? 36 Adamant, 252 HP, 196 speed to always outspeed Modest Blood Moon Ursaluna, 20 special defense, 4 defense, right? Putting in the rest. Cool.
So if we do see a trade of fake outs here, it's going to be the Incineroar on Lurcy's side of the field that will flinch. That being said, with the some damage from the make it range, try and get a nasty pet. It's not going to be
Lurcy's thinking.
It is not going to be, that's going to be a great
pressure on Joshua here because the Incineroar can't fake out safely. Josh knows that
That's right. If you have this lower pivot.
wars, which means that the Incineroar has plenty of opportunity to go on the offense against the Golden Go, and also the Ursaluna Blood Moon feels totally safe.
Yep.
Lurcy has to protect the Golden Go here, switches into Rillaboom to reset fake out pressure, as Incineroar does go straight on the offense, trying to knock off the item from that Golden Go, remove the life.
Yep, and we can see that his instant is faster than his Blood Moon Ursaluna.
And a repositioning from Joshua Lurcy gets the Rillaboom out on the field, fake out pressure, and no intimidation.
We can see. We can also see that there's less HP in Josh's Rillaboom than I had said, so already a safe bet.
staring down its ideal target in the form of that side of the field.
Right.
Tempting. It's going to allow it to stick around for a bit longer. Could try to set up a yawn onto the Rillaboom and force it off the field.
Making a super hard call here.
Really good damage, but then you're taking away the possible terrestrialization from your own Golden Go if you brought it. So that's a big cost to play.
Absolutely, and that is a huge decision that these players are going to have to make every single turn. There is the Ursaluna retreating, bringing out the Rillaboom instead. So Alex has also brought the Rillaboom alongside the Incineroar. The crystallization on Golden Go, that is the water terror Lorcy to force a terrestrialization, and on the switch in, catches the Rillaboom that once was an Ursaluna. Would have done nothing if the Ursaluna had stayed in, but instead, a shadow.
Boom. Really hard read. Covered for that. Actually, not a bad call, though, from Josh.
That is some key damage, especially given that the Golden Go is now weak to that Rillaboom.
Yeah, that Pokemon is now in
Now, we can still see that Incin is slower than the opposing Rillaboom.
Parting shot, though, on Alex's side of the field will allow him to pivot. This could be a great opportunity for him to reveal his final Pokemon, and he does. It's his own.
Oh, hang on.
Great opportunity for him to reveal his final Pokemon, and he does. It's
So that Goldango is in a Cherish Ball, so it could have been re-EV'd, I guess, but just a fun fact that that is an event Goldango.
his own Golden Go.
It's his own Golden Go, but even because of the terrestrialization, Lorcy matches up quite well.
Right there. Grassy Terrain Recovery shows us that Alex's Rillaboom is faster
Golden Go, but even because of the
than Lorcy's Rillaboom, right?
matches up quite well against it. And as we see, there is
Bam, out the gate. So we can go over here. We take a look at Lorcy's Rillaboom. Was I blocking the video? Yeah, kind of a little bit. But sorry, there's not going to be a better way to do this. We go and look at Lorcy's Rillaboom, right? 76 speed to hit. 115 to outspeed Modest. To outspeed Timid, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, right? So what's the next tier to hit in speed-wise for that area? Could outspeed max speed Jolly Incin, if that's what you wanted to do. Although I don't think that's as common as people expect it to be. I actually think something more important in that speed tier would be the Modest Pelipper. So that you only need to hit 118, which wouldn't require that much more investment. Just 100 more right there. So all of a sudden now, how much investment does Mercy have? Like 172 in there? Okay, pretty good. You don't actually need all that much more speed investment to hit that. So let's just say that he took that straight from... So we already know, though, that it's 197 on Lorcy's Rillaboom, right? Which makes me think that they're both running... That they would be running something like that. So we can literally just hit the same right here. There's a dire claw calc. There's like an important dire claw calc. It's like 172 and 20, right? I think. So you could do something like this. This is the calc, I think, to always survive a dire claw from max speed Jolly or Adamant Sneasler or something like that. It's close to this. It's close to this. So let's say that he did this. He just took it straight from special defense to give him that additional 3 points in speed, right? This would be kind of a safe assumption. You want that extra 8, that special defense to help compound with the Assault Vest, but you don't want an odd number because then you're wasting an AV. So this would be kind of something that I could consider for maybe Alex's Rillaboom.
no speed control available for Alex, so it's all going to come down to how these Pokemon were trained in this terrestrialization. If Lorcy can protect Golden Go until Rillaboom gets off the field, this Pokemon is looking really golden.
So we do know from previous matches that Alex's Rillaboom will be faster than Lorcy's Rillaboom, but we also know that Lorcy still has the Incineroar around, can still trade fake outs, can still trade some intimidates, so it's not like you have to make that big play right now. You can afford to play it a little bit safer. You just have to hope that you don't catch your opponent with a nasty blood.
Oh, the Golden Go, the
There it is. So assuming, let's just for a moment say that we can assume that this is a max speed Golden Go. Like we're under that assumption. If we're being honest, I don't think it is. But if we're going to say that it is, then this must also be a max speed Golden Go because then it won a speed tie. So then the Golden Go spread must be the same. I don't think, because of that HP stat alone, I don't think Lorcie's Golden Go is max speed. But I would say it's safe to assume, from what I saw in Alex's stream games as well, that his is. So I think it is this spread or something akin to it. Just kind of one of the most standard Golden Go spreads you can kind of get out there because it's good. We can also verify that from this next turn. So this next move, right? High horsepower. So this is something else you can do, right? So he goes for the high horsepower. How much do we think that did? Like 50%? Right? We're going to assume 50% to Golden Go. So we go here. Pokemon damage calculator. I like Nerd of Now personally. 116. That's I know it's not 196 for reasons from that damage. So we're going to. So normally you're just going to go for a bump for the offense on Rillaboom. So it's either 36 or 116. But let's go. Golden Go. We're just going to go 52 for defense. High horsepower does 65 to 76%. So in that moment then, so what if we made it 36 adamant? 60 to 72. So either, yeah, so this must be a bulkier Goldango that I'm giving it credit for. What if we did like that? That would make more sense. So it could be like, well, does that then... 70 to 83. Oh, but we want Life Orb. No investment, right? Okay, so it could be a... So I do think that Michael's is max speed timid, right? So, but maybe it is a bit bulkier. So we go like 179 here. We just hit 116. That is another common benchmark. Yes, and so then after Life Orb chip, Shadow Ball would always KO. So maybe we can assume that that's actually the spread for the Golden Go is something like this. Like 132 to hit 179, give it a little bit of additional bulk. And then that would actually mean that Lorcie's Rillaboom at that... Well, we actually have Lorcie's Rillaboom at that 36, right? Yes. So that would then match what we saw in the yeah, then that would match like a low roll that we saw in the in that turn, right? It's about 50-60%, yeah. We actually look back for a second. 157 for HP on the Sneasler from Lorcie. So many tabs. No, so that is... Well, oh wow, so that is a very not bulky Sneasler. I think that's probably then just max or something like that. Like, it's a bump with a little bit of defense or something like that. So Lorcie's then might be like 12... I would actually anticipate something like that then, because that outspeeds the base 100s after if they're in Tailwind, so it could be something more akin to that. which would make sense. But I know it's only 12 HP, so let's say it has to be 12 there. So let's say it's something like this. So that would work there for Lorcy instead.
A lot of these Pokemon are extremely weak, and the final Pokemon in the back is the Sneasler for Joshua Dorsey. So setting up a world where that Sneasler can be the offensive threat that closes out this game instead of the Golden Go.
As we've seen from this team in other formations, the Sneasler has access to close combat and acrobatics, and you really want the Golden Go on the opposing side of the field to be below half of its health to feel comfortable about that acrobatics knockout. And that's something that I think the Incineroar and the Rillaboom
Okay.
can be very comfortable as
So we know that.
navigating to that point. You just have to time these turns very well.
Well, Incineroar switches
So it again shows that Alex's Rillaboom is faster than Lorcy's
the Incineroar for Joshua Dorsey.
because it swapped out first.
Also,
While the terrain is still unburdened, will activate, making the Sneasler the vulnerable to that.
absolutely, the Sneasler absolutely
Yep.
on the switch and with that parting shot. Alex's side just got parting shotted and
Thing about this position for Lorcy is that if
Okay.
the Incineroar wants to the Ursaluna Blood,
Yeah, that's obvious.
the key pieces of damage at this point turn. You can't necessarily make that switch comfortably because Sneasler could decide to roar and follow it up with a high horse to go, reading like that defensive play to find the opportunity. An opportunity here.
will sneak by nasty plotting to boost its special attack, but the high horsepower coming out from Rillaboom.
Yeah.
that's a KO.
So that right there actually would indicate that I was right with my calcs, because see, that did more than the first one. And so if we look back at the calculator, Rillaboom, the 56 to 68, yeah, that would anticipate that the first one was just a low roll and this is more of a medium to high roll if we're kind of eyeballing the damage. Because what is, yeah, that looks, I mean, you can actually get out a ruler and like really figure out the exact HP, but it's like it's not that deep
On that Rillaboom super
right now.
damage. The nasty plot, was it worth it? No, it just goes right down. Incineroar tried
So they went from low roll to high roll.
with the parting once more and remove those under control.
But is it under control? It's still going to be the fast combat into the Ursaluna. Ursula just has to hang out for a bit. You have to feel at this point in time. It can't necessarily protect, which means it might be taking a while. As long as you keep it safe for another turn, you can go on the offense with it in the next turn.
And Sneasler needs to stay healthy here, but also Lorcy needs to get some damage down onto this Ursaluna. Without the Golden Go in the back, having access to Blood Moon
Yep.
means that it's still going to be able to punch holes through the team.
Air Electric.
Both Sneasler and Incineroar. Lorcy though will just no fake out, instead a wood hammer from Rillaboom. Alex is just pivoting. He is dancing out again and bringing in his own Rillaboom.
And when you know your opponent's final on all of these switches, one, you're going to be for this Ursaluna opportunities to weave in attacks in the meantime. Hers will be a little bit more powerful, and you know, certainly you're healing up your opponent's Pokemon.
Yeah, Ursaluna is the slowest thing on the field, which isn't super surprising.
Rillaboom and Incineroar to sort of match that momentum, given that Sneasler just isn't as comfortable.
Incineroar is still extremely healthy and has its citrus berry, so recovering up just a little bit. But Alex making the call to the Rillaboom with the fake out, preventing it from firing out a wood hammer. Incineroar, like I
Yep.
mentioned, is going to tank that earth power, eat the citrus berry, but that was only the one-time deal. Now, Lorcy
Fake out, back on the table, down this earth. After all, they get that, they don't take it out.
Yeah, we're not really seeing any more interactions.
losing the grassy seed damage from the bat. Sneasler comes out and switch in and back up that full fake out there to prevent that. Although Incineroar still threatens fake out pressure. I don't think there's been a turn that fake out.
Winners are we've really seen it in this match try to accomplish something meaningful. We saw it flinch a couple of turns ago as well, but really, if Alex doesn't go for it this turn and Lorcy relies on that.
Yep, there's a close combat. Okay. So assuming that we have the Lorcy spread here, right? We can actually take a guess to see if our Incin is right. So that's what, 228 adamant? Which I would assume, I'm actually just going to go ahead and say, yeah, that's probably correct. Because you can pretty easily EV Incin to live a close combat from Sneasler. And this is just like not, this is not the EV investment that you need. Let's go like max speed to go. So that's basically what we're getting. Yeah, so this is a fast and offensive Incineroar. Like, for sure. Because, yeah, close combat does 74 to 87. Oh, wait, this is with Intimidate. Yeah. Close combat does 109 to 130. Yeah, so it's like you need more defensive investment. So that close combat right there, assuming because it wasn't intimidated, yeah, then that's actually pretty correct. So we can assume that our instant spread is quite right. So all that we really have left to figure out then, because we're just going to assume the Alolan Ninetales spread, is the Sneasler and the Blood Moon Ursaluna, right? So I don't think we're going to get any more important interactions from this, unless there is an amount of special attack investment required to KO No Bulk Sneasler. So there is no amount of investment required to KO No Bulk Sneasler with the Earth Power, so okay.
Does come back out onto the end of the dip. Those high horsepowers are get enough damage for it to gonna do. And when are you gonna find?
See it in a long time. Lorsy locking in double will make this Ursaluna for the rest of the game. And
You need. You don't want to make a
Okay.
assuming your opponent you were in the previous turn means recovery is also gone for these Pokemon, so this damage is gonna start to stick.
the high horse
Okay. So that does like what, 55%? It's like basically 55% to Blood Moon or Ursaluna. So now we can go here. But we want 36 Adamant. Right? High horsepower does. But we want Terra Electric. Yeah, 60%. Okay, so like 50, 60% there. So it's probably very little to no defense investment. And then my guess then would be so this Blood Moon here, the other one was max HP. The reason that they wanted to go max HP is because 220 is optimal for grassy terrain, recovery, and leftovers. But there is another number you can hit that doesn't go that far. I would anticipate it's that. So I think it's 156 and 4 here. Just if I'm going to take a guess, 208. That would align, that would not align with our high horsepower calc. Kind of the only problem there. We're Terra Electric, 40 to 48. Unless that was just like a super high roll.
Recovery is also gone for these Pokemon, so this damage is gonna start to stick.
Yeah, that was definitely not. That was definitely over 50%, but just a little bit. So it might be slightly more attack investment in Rillaboom than I'm saying, but I still think that's kind of a safe. We can also see how much special attack investment based on that is. So if we go here, Ursaluna, Earth Power, Incineroar. Well, actually, let's see. If I did 116 here, that still doesn't quite get us there. So I'm not totally certain on that. But let's say we go Incineroar, because that's going to be something akin to like this. Earth Power did 71, so if we go Modest, 36. That doesn't quite get the right Earth Power amount either. How much it took from that one Earth Power.
on the Incineroar, so Lorsy loses a Pokemon first against the Ursaluna. Not able to really nasty spot.
Ursaluna up, but these wood hammers
They're not nothing.
Yeah, that's offensive.
for sure.
Okay.
Oh, that was a oh yeah, duh, I forgot.
Close. If a high Lorsy, we're going to gain 2. If it does not, then Lorsy may be able to take this one home in the 1v1 with the Rillabooms. There's the high horsepower, connects onto Ursaluna. Not enough damage. 1 hit point remaining on the Ursaluna.
There's the yawn.
All there from Alex, realizing that if you're worried about losing your Ursaluna, you can always
The other option is that it's 92. It could be less HP on Earth than even that, because in theory, it could be like this, like 28. to hit 192, because that's also optimal for grassy terrain recovery and life orb, all that jazz, you know what I mean? That would sit... still not quite there. I don't quite understand then. Maybe I'm just not... Maybe it is a more offensive Rillaboom than what I have. Then it might be like 116 for Lorcy. Well, we know it's not this. It's 197. Yeah. Okay. Yep. That would make more sense. So yeah, this is the spread then, probably. Something akin to this. So 116, 197. Okay, yeah. So then in that particular instance, then if we go 116, that would, yeah, be much closer to what I'm expecting as the spread there. Okay, so that's good to know. So we can assume that it's probably 28.
The rest of this game, that is a faster Rillaboom than Lorcy's. Blood Moon Ursula, a game regional champion.
This is the gear. Sleep a turn earlier. We will take that K regional
Closer to that madness matchup. Both of these players, is it
at present team to leave A is poking on the push champion.
self merge for themselves?
So we need to see if we can see where Blood Moon like deals damage to anything.
Tails coming out.
Options to there's the
Yeah, Ninetales is going to be faster.
start off your game right.
I really have like almost no doubt that this is the Ninetales spread. But if you really want to double check,
Grounds the Terra. Fake out will there was no protect. There was no terrestrialization.
it did like what?
Effective damage.
Yeah, like 70%.
Just as
That, yeah, that makes sense.
it cannot feel for a ground.
His own I need to pour out half plot off
You could in theory run that calc, but I'm like almost certain that is the Ninetales calc.
the VGCC mirror more physical. Have to worry about flinch. Make sure
Others
Is there...
to pick up that, but that one.
coming out there. Plot boost deals
Give me the Blood Moon Ursaluna. I know all of these now, or at least I have good guesses for them.
again because of that grassy terrain. But Lorcy still has a pretty decent position. All of his Pokemon. Grassy terrain. Grassy terrain also just ending. Golden Go goes for a double protect. Does not get it. It will fail. The Terra Blast from Ninetales. It will connect
Yep.
on the Golden Go. That Pokemon has finally gone down. It is just the Ursaluna and the Rillaboom in the back.
Yeah, Golden Go goes down.
There is no defense.
This doesn't really teach us anything we don't already know.
Means it has to take the full force
Yeah.
of super effective wood handling. Finally, Ninetales goes down to an earth power. A lot of super effective wood hammer. Not quite enough to pick up the one-hit KO, but that is a lot of damage back. And finally,
No, this doesn't tell us anything.
Hammer, which I think trading for all golden board state in the field. So again, you can threaten.
and Ursaluna, Lorcy can KO it. Boom, though, is taking big, adding up. But at this point, Rillaboom needs much more damage.
Yeah, that seems like a...
The Golden Go. Here comes the wood hammer from is forcing a game away from winning a regional championship.
What an incredible way to nervous because these trainers.
They love their Incineroar.
I just had to call it out. That just changed the double protect the grassy glide, but unfortunately, this golden go I think able to clear up the set.
Yeah, the Make It Rain connects onto both.
Okay.
Actually hangs on there a little
So that's a -1 Life Orb Golden Go, right? So let's see if we can figure out the special attack investment. That did like what?
To clear up the set.
Yeah, the Make It Rain connects onto
Like 35-40% would be my guess. So let's say it's 116 special attack Life Orb. Make it rain. Nope, that seems about right. What is it? Yeah, 30-35%. That would be about right for Make It Rain. Or what we did. So you could, in theory, go like... $76. I have seen people do something like this. Okay, so then we definitely have more special attack investment. It's not max speed, we know, unless it is max speed, like super fast, turbo bear stuff. We're gonna need a little bit more, but I know that the special attack investment is decent, but not like huge.
Actually hangs on there a little bit. That could have gotten a little bit spooky if Alex had not gone for the double protect game 3, and Lorcy is looking really good this game.
I am so excited as well. I do have to wonder, you know, you have to take everything about how do I need to knock out that Incineroar, but his
Deal for Alex, super effective decastalization. Moment that Alex lost control of the game because he
Okay.
pressure with the on the approach that
I think game 3, Alex leads the Blood Moon, yeah.
combination, but
back to game 1. Both of these players of Marvel.
and you have how close that was. There must have been a key moment. Look at margin, try and go for a parting shot here instead of a fake turn, and
Players use their defensive using this to buy time can remove its pressure from either decrease
not only though, just kind of the field a Pokemon.
win for the hard
Reed, yeah, and he doesn't. But this is important because the Blood Moon picks up the Golden Go, doesn't it?
big swing, and unfortunately a big whiff onto the Ursaluna, and this Blood Moon is going to punish the Golden Go.
Okay, so it did 128 damage to a neutral target. So yeah, I think it's 132 for Blood Moon. Terra, it doesn't matter, but let's say Terra Water. Yeah, so they have to have pretty decent. I need my phone. Yeah, this is where you got to do like math and stuff. So 122 divided by, what was it? 128 divided by 177 is 72%. So yeah, if we wanted to say that was a guaranteed KO, we need 116 special attack investment right there. So yeah, we're getting pretty close there. How long is this video? Okay. We'll kind of scout this out through a little bit because this video has gone a little longer than I had anticipated.
Alex is leader of
But-
the intensive terrestrialization from the Ursaluna. Fake out will Ursaluna as before, not onto the Sneasler, which will be able to fire off a close combat into Ursaluna.
Yeah, a neutral.
Before deals about 50% damage, which Ursaluna will be able to heal back up with the leftover.
That seems like it's just EV to always live a close combat from Sneasler. So, without Terra. So if we don't terrestrial. So maybe it is 208. Yeah, I think it is 208 HP, 156, because that would basically make the roll super heavily in your favor to live that CC. And then you can do something like that. Or even something like this. Like you could do something like that, 132. I've seen like 88. Hit there or something like that. So that would be kind of a good guess on what that spread would be like. And then all that's left really is the Sneasler. If you're rocking Grassy Seed Unburden, we can assume that it's a similar. Because we know, I don't think we ever really see the speed interaction between those two. The two Sneaslers. He never brings the Sneasler. Yeah. Knock off all that, but okay, you get the picture. But yeah, so basically then, this is kind of what I would guess the EVs of the team to be. The way this went a little longer than I expected, but basically the way you do it is you're going to say, okay, what's something optimal that one could do for this moment? That would be like some of those EVs. and then like how can I use the EVs I know in order to figure out the rest. But watching stream matches I think are hugely massive to kind of figure out these teams. So this is at least what I can assume to be quasi the team for that Alex used. I will include the rental, and I'll include a PokePaste, not a rental, in the description down below. That if you want to try this out for yourself, you totally can. But I hope this helps. I hope that you kind of learned something from watching me do this and see the example and all that stuff. Sorry I went a little longer than I thought, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and become a channel member. Yeah, that's really about it. So I hope you like it. All right. Please know also that you are appreciated. All right. Peace.